You strong.
Hey guys, thanks for joining Mixed Expressions. Today's topic is going to be about real estate, and what better person to talk about real estate than Michelle. Michelle, you've been in real estate for about 3 years.
Yes.
So why did you decide to go into real estate?
I decided to go into real estate because when I was in school, most of my friends and their families were in real estate. They were developers, and I saw how much they were able to help the community through real estate, like whether it was like building centers for children, having Jewish community centers, and just being helpful overall. So
Nice.
I started.
So what is your little trick to building clientele and keeping clientele?
Oh, well, I think to build clientele, you just have to just do things you're interested in. Like, I didn't believe that at first when one of my office managers told me that, but you really need to do things you're interested in because the client isn't just looking to buy a house, they're looking to work with you. And what better person to work with than someone who has similar interests in you and understands you?
Right.
So, for example, like I started taking like some acting classes and stuff during quarantine, and I've met some people that way. Like, just it's more personable than Zillow, but of course, you get a lot of people through Zillow.
Right. So do you have any stories of having a hard time building clientele? And if so, what would you do to change that? Change the experience at least.
Well, there wasn't much I could do to change the experience. Being a female and on the younger side, it gets a little daunting. So you get a lot of predators, people just trying to hang out with you. So there wasn't much I could do other than just not work with them.
So speaking of that, how do you know if someone is being very serious about going into business with you, or do you have a natural bullshit detector?
I've developed a natural bullshit detector for sure. I mean, sometimes you're wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but so some interesting ones are, oh, what do you do? Then you state what you do, like you're a realtor or whatever you do, right? So I say I'm a realtor, or they see it on my Instagram, and they're like, oh, I buy a lot of houses. And I'm like, okay, so what houses? Where? They're like, oh, but I want to take you out though. So do you buy houses or you just want to take me out? Because if you want to take me out, okay, but you can also buy homes, but don't lead with you're buying homes and then you want to take me out. So I think that's a bullshit detector. I also had someone ask me or say to me when I asked for proof of funds because we went through all the properties and I had, as a realtor, like we have to sift through all the properties before we send them to you. And it's a lot, especially depending on your price range. And someone said like, oh, the funds are spiritual. When I asked for proof of funds, it happens
What?
spiritual before it happens in the physical. I was like,
Oh
sure,
boy.
again, but you can't tell everyone like, hey, just show me proof of funds before you work with
Right.
them, because sometimes you have to help them.
So you feel like that's kind of like a natural skill to being in that field.
I think it's extra when you're female.
Yeah, I don't doubt it whatsoever. What do you think like the misconceptions are of being like a female real estate agent?
I think it's twofold. I think one of the misconceptions, real estate agent is that we only show you houses.
Mm.
One is we show you houses, but we also have to like know what's in the property. So we have kind of like preview them and we do our research on the property. And also we have to do all like go through inspections and stuff with you. Like we have to go through all the paperwork. Like we didn't pass the test for no reason. Like there's
Right.
a lot of work involved. And then the misconception being a female real estate agent, I think is that we'll just hang out with you forever how long you want till you buy, and we're just so
You're,
grateful for your business.
yeah, they're like, well, you come with the house, right?
Basically, yeah, they say dumb shit like that, or or just try to be your friend forever and ever.
Well, I'm sure that you have learned great skills of navigating those types of people and clients, I would say. What is your favorite type of property to show? Because you just said that it's not just houses. So, what is your favorite type of property to show?
Oh my, oddly enough, my favorites have been just land.
Okay. There's
Well,
so much potential in land.
yeah, I like showing land, and then because a lot of people now just like building their own homes, or
Mhm.
so it's either land or like an extreme tear down. So it's kind of cool, like going through with them, with their architects, with their like contractors, and seeing what will be built. So I think that's like the most fun to me.
Yeah, you've told me some interesting stories about some problems that have arises in real estate. I feel like you might deal with some VIPs that their expectations of properties are probably over the roof. Yes.
Literally roof.
Like what kind of stories? Like give me some. I know I remember a particular story, but I don't know if you want to share that one.
um, there have been different ones, like they need the ceilings a certain height because they're so tall. Otherwise, the house is perfect.
Mhm.
And then I had the builder not give an accurate description of the floor to ceiling height.
Mhm.
So that wasn't good. So it makes you seem like the realtor. It makes you seem like a liar. But that was,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
I had, um, and a lot of times, like when people are extremely wealthy, like in the billionaire range, they just get their feelings hurt so much. But I understand because they're so used to people trying to use them. But there was this one guy with Google. He was upset with me because he thought I sent him the properties for another client and was still trying to push it off as if it was for him. But it was truly that I had mixed up the year built with another property I sent him, but they were both for him. So I learned really quick, like,
Mhm.
just know exactly what's on each property. Even if you're sending them like 20 properties, like, in a week, like, or more, you have to know exactly like the date it was built and just be very specific and don't fuck it up because you don't always get a second chance with people. And for him, he was just offended and thought it was this, and I proved it to him. But by then, he found someone else. So that was a learning. I was like, dang it. But I'm sure he'll be back. I see him
You know,
around.
I feel like that just definitely comes with the territory of being in a field like that. You can't please everybody. And I'm sure that you've learned skills of navigating those types of clients, and I'm sure you probably do your very best. I think a lot of people have a lot of questions about what are the necessary steps a potential homeowner, what should they take? Because I feel like people just go straight to the source as far as a real estate agent, but there are necessary steps, correct?
Yeah, there are necessary steps you should take, but most people don't because they aren't aware. Um, and that's a part of just being an agent. So when you come to an agent, you don't just come with your list of demands of homes you want to see. Like some people know, like the more experienced home buyers, of course, know, like, okay, I know this area, this is the price range, like they know this. So let's talk about only new home buyers. New home buyers, if they're not paying in cash, should first get pre-approved with their bank, or you can use a loan broker. But right now, because of Corona restrictions, it's best to just go with your bank because you'll get a better loan option, especially in California, since the homes are like in the million plus range, or at least close. And those are considered jumbo loans. And so a lot of loan brokers right now can't do that. So step one, get pre-approved. Step two, once you're pre-approved, um, Then we go through the process of looking at areas you're interested in, and then you know also have to assess your needs. Are you looking for a long-term place? Are you looking for a place to live in long-term, or are you looking for an investment property? So those are two, like you want to consider like the growth of an area, or is this an area that you can have kids in now? Because kids always come sooner than you plan on.
Exactly.
So that's number 2. And 3 is just, you know, just working with your realtor on and being honest about your likes and dislikes. Because if you don't like something, you know, we just need to know. It's not going to hurt our feelings. We didn't build the house, and if we did, you know, still let us know. um, and you know, I think that's basically it. Like, come prepared and just understand that we're not here to judge you on how much you have or don't have. Our objective is to find you a home or
Right.
an property, just what you want. That's the objective, not to judge you.
Right.
I think that's when you know someone's full of shit, when they think you're judging them, because I think they want something more.
Right. So as far as dealing with people that are making, you know, millions of dollars and they need a more high scale property, you are dealing with people that are kind of making less than that amount every year, correct? And are the necessary steps kind of different from them? Or
No,
is that just depending on the banks?
those were the steps I talked about. Those were for them, because typically for someone who has more money in the bank, a lot of them still do get loans, but a lot are cash buyers.
Mm.
So they don't have to go through the loan process. You go through the process of their money manager and
Mm-hmm.
using their money manager and saying why this is a good buy, which is a
Right.
whole other ordeal.
Right.
It's a
Do
whole
you
nother-
think that there are people that are kind of a little apprehensive as far as trying to apply for a house? And if so, what is something that you could do to help people to, hey, to maybe give them the proper steps of doing it? Because I feel like you said, there's people that are making millions and there are people that are making probably less than that. So what do you think there is that people don't necessarily try to invest in a property where they own it themselves? Because there's a lot of renters out there.
Well, yeah, you'll find a lot of renters, especially a lot of renters in high cost areas. It's not necessarily that people, you know, are poor. It's more so that it costs a lot. The down
Hmm.
payment is typically about 20%, and FHA loans go up to like 800,000 for a single family. More if you buy a multifamily property in high cost areas such as San Francisco and LA. So it's a little harder for them, because when you use an FHA loan, like a federally backed loan, you only have to put like about 5% down, which is definitely more feasible for most people, because even people who are buying $1 million properties usually have like their parents like take out uh, you know, money from their house. Like they have to refinance their home and to help their kids buy a house, or people a lot of times get a loan for the down payment. So a lot of people are just like, forget it, I'm not buying a home. But I feel that there are definitely ways to buying home. First, you could just start with a starter home. You know, get the home. Again, we're talking about Los Angeles, like California area. Like get a home that's 800,000 that you know, or get an income property. Like get you know, get a multifamily property that has like, you know, at least like a triplex or something. You can still get that within FHA, or you know, the first time home buyer programs that a lot of banks offer. So look into that, and especially during Corona, because they're trying to prevent even more of an economic downturn. A lot of banks and just the government's pushing a lot of funds into grants, and you know, grants aren't loans, so you don't have to pay them back. And when you have all those funds accessible to you to help you get into your first property, you know, when you sell that property, you move on to the next one, just keep building up. Again, it's a starter home. It's not your end home. You don't have to live there forever. So I think that's what people need to consider sometimes and not be dissuaded by the Kardashians and stuff like that.
Right.